What it do? What it do? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Live on Sunday, man. It's the greatest host in the known universe. I go by the name of King Crowder, man. I want to appreciate you for tapping in for another edition of what we do, talking about what's going on, preparing what the state of the culture is, and seeing how this is valuable to you. If it's your first time here, make sure you comment, like, share, subscribe to the channel. Thank God that you could be anywhere in the known universe, but you are here with your boy. Before I get too far started, shout out to Black History Month and Black Americans for what you did in the country. The reason why we got to take these moments and to reflect, it should be every day. Let me go ahead and throw that out there. But I will go along with the holiday seasons and what things we got going on, and to make sure I add value to you. So I'm going to start it off right. Let's go ahead and start it off with the number one thing I always like to promote to people, man. FBA business. What it do, baby? What it do? First off, y'all, book of the month, the week of your life. If you need to know something to start your Black history journey, I highly recommend you start it off with the great James Lowen and the book titled Lies My Teacher Told Me. Why do I love this book, man? It dives into everything that we was taught wrong in history. If you did not know, everything we taught was taught in reverse. We can make a quick live diatribe about it, but I'm going to always give you something to start off with on your Black history journey. Phenomenal author, phenomenal read, phenomenal historian. This brother gives so many gems about the story of Black Americans in this country. Highly recommend. Also, I recommend you get your boy. You know, I love to write and read and starting my author journey. King Crowder right here. Terrell Crowder is my real name. Things I wish my parents would have taught me is something I wrote. Something very impactful for all of those, young, old, as long as you are on your journey. And we're going to talk about why it is important to you. Comment, like, share, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for tapping in. Get the likes up as much as possible. Boost your boy in the algorithm. New baby on the way. So much going on in the crowd of Gazang. But let me start off like this, man. FBAs are under attack. Foundational Black Americans are the name. What is a foundational Black American? It is a lineage-based name of the descendants of slavery who were prisoners of war and occupied in this country. It is a renaming and a self-claiming of an identity, freedmen, Negro, copper-colored people, as long as you go on a journey of American history. FBAs are taking such an attack by multiple people. When you get attacked, the first question I always want you to ask, ladies and gentlemen, is why? You don't attack the weak. You don't hate on people that's not doing well. You hate on the strong. You hate on the good teams. People hate on LeBron because he's Bron. They don't hate on no name because he's a no name. People that are doing well and are shaking the table, changing movements, changing the way we think, you will get hate. I like to inform everybody, hate is normal. If you have never been popping, if you ain't never had nothing going, don't fight it. Listen to the hate. Don't get mad. Don't say, I wish you would stop hating on me. It's a part of the journey. Just like going to the gym is a part of getting big. Just like having a woman that's dealing with her emotion. Just like getting money, you got to deal with bullshit. Hate is part of the game. Don't take it personal. Don't argue about it. Don't even fuss about it. But what we do here is we find out why the hate is so strong. Why are FBAs constantly under attack? Why do foundational Black American piss people off? Why is that, ladies and gentlemen? The reason why that is, where can I get your book? Oh, Deontay, shout out to you, brother, on Amazon, Deontay D-Boy. Appreciate you, man. You are not getting reparations top of the division. I hear you, brother. Tap in, we can see, man. Oh, okay, man. We don't worry about that, y'all. What you can time into, y'all, I want you to know. And again, Deontay, it's on Amazon, brother. I'll make sure to send you the link. Let me make sure I do that now for D-Boy. That's one of my childhood friends, y'all. Shout out to Deontay Stanley. Shout out to my dog. Shout out to him. But let me stay focused. Let me stay locked in. All right. When people have disparaging words towards you, ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand why that is. Number one, you highlight something they are not doing. You highlight something they are not actively focused on. You highlight issues that you see and you're trying to correct the problem. Shout out to D, baby. D is a therapist, right? And the one thing I've learned for her along her therapeutic journey, along with the great Francis Cress Wilson, who inspired me greatly, is that before you know what a problem is, you have to define it. You have to break it down. You have to address it. So when you hear the anti-FBA rhetoric, you got to know, why is it there? The rhetoric is there is to, one, undermine, to two, stop or prevent, and to three, get the focus off of that energy. FBA is already something that's here, y'all. For anybody that said it ain't strong, it ain't real, it ain't blah, 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 we got movie directors, athletics, academic papers, Black America's claiming it. For people making a claim that is not making that much movement or motion, ignore that. What you then have to look at is, why do you want it to be fake? Why do you not want it to be powerful? Why do you not want it to stick? You don't want it to stick because you see that when we are focused, lockstep, and focused in this country, we get things going. If you have not known, none of these other issues are a focal point for us right now. FBAs have been locked into our political forces, our economic issues, and getting the justice that is long overdue. So when you hear people that used to have commentary that say things that really get your hairs going, why is that? And the one individual that I'm really going to focus on today is I don't want to go personal, but I always like to look at the man. And when you look at men, remember, I don't look at men as men. We grade each other differently. As men, we grade each other on a mentality of accomplishments, on work, on things being done, on things that have been completed in your lifetime. And when you take a shot at a brother like Tariq, who has accomplishments, who has accolades, who has the family, who has the notoriety, who has the credibility, and you have none, the first thing I look at it as is it jealousy? Where did it come from? Why now? Why do you want to speak on this issue, and why are you trying to, number one, name a person that has done work for a good while? Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is this. I analyze the subject, right? I noticed that this brother dropped this critique on his Patreon, which is a way he makes money. That's fine. But the other thing I noticed, he didn't drop it on his biggest platform. He didn't drop it on TikTok. He dropped it on Instagram. He didn't drop it with thought-provoking conversations live. He dropped it in a safe space. Why? Because he knew he was wrong. He knew he was controversial. He knew when it comes to academic discourse, improving your work and putting the work in what you're supposed to be doing, he ain't doing that. I hear your talking points in which you've said, and I've liked some of it, but I've also disliked others. I've disliked your commentary you made about Black American men. I've disliked how it's always Byron's fault. It's always Terrell's fault. But you never have smoke, or you speak on relevant issues. I notice your topics are always shallow. I noticed that you avoid discourse. And I noticed that you took a shot at one of the most predominant black men who was a family man, who is a community guy, who speaks on commentary. And whether you with or you dislike him, you can't undermine what he's been doing. So I want you to hear it if you haven't heard it first, and I'm going to respond to it.
The FBA, the Foundational Black American. These niggas ain't involved in nothing outside.
Number one, y'all, you are telling people what they're involved in. My number one question, street ninja to street ninja, as you like to portray that you are with. What are you involved in? I know you do your money getting thing, which is fine. But for you to say what another man is not doing or what another lineage is not doing, where's your work, bro? Where your trap? Where your business where you employ people outside of your fan group? Where's your game you give? Where's your statements when you get in battle, when you defend yourself and you defend your talking points on a regular basis? Where is that at? All I hear is you throwing shade. What the hoes do. But when you talk about what you're building, you got to lean on your resume first, player. If I'm going to throw a shot at somebody, I got to be doing twice as much as what they're doing. I can't not be doing shh and saying the FBAs ain't doing nothing. Are you dumb, bro? Let me finish letting it play.
They ain't doing shit outside. They on the internet looking for niggas that look just like them to degrade and call tethers.
I want y'all to pay attention to something. When I defend myself, I'm wrong. But when you hit me in my mouth, I'm supposed to take it. Pay attention, y'all. He is saying that FBAs are wrong for defending themselves. He ain't saying nothing about the immigrants that come here that are disrespectful and distasteful. He is saying nothing about the current state of immigration and how it is affecting other black men like himself in the state of Georgia. I was just in Atlanta, talk to it, AC aliens all the time. The streets on fire up there. The hit and runs, the scamming, all that stuff is all cold, bro. When you spoke on that? When you say how you feel? When you speaking on the stuff that's going on in your state right now? But you mad at somebody else speaking on the issue and bringing truth to power to it? Come on, bro.
All day. I don't see these niggas doing no work against none of these fucking Nazis, none of these fucking Klansmen, nothing. All I see is them niggas calling out other black people all.
So he has a problem with you addressing something. Wait a minute. Let me get this right. So you can disrespect me. You can have derogatory names. You can cuss at me. You can call me a Carter, Jareer, all those type of words. But the moment I respond to it, I'm wrong. I hope he ain't got no son talking like that. If somebody disrespect you, you get nose to nose, forehead to forehead. I thought he was a street ninja. I thought he was a street guy. I thought he was standing on business, spoke on business. Why do you have a problem with that? You disrespecting me all day, every day, but I got a problem with responding? I'm wrong, not them. It's only a one-sided problem. Come on, bro.
Hey, that's divisive as fuck.
When anybody use that word divisive, man, know they have an agenda. Toxic, divisive. What's the word they always use? Xenophobic. All those words I'm starting to learn. Those people have an agenda. I don't know if y'all noticed that. When a woman says toxic, what's the other word? Narcissist. Any of those buzzwords, y'all. That right there should be an agenda talking to you. If you use that word right there, you say it on your platform, I'm assuming something going on. I am. Big fat man turns delineation, delineate. It ain't going nowhere. It's here to stay. Straight up.
Questioning niggas. Where you from? Where was you born?
You from the South, bro. You from the South. Questioning is normal. If I go to my homeboy house right now, his mama gonna press me. If I walk inside my mama's house right now, she gonna press me. Since when is questioning not being a part of Black American culture? When are you going to your mama's house and she ain't answering you 10 to 15 questions? When can you be around your old lady and she don't press you and ask you questions? When can you be around anybody in Black culture when they ain't gonna ask you a goddamn question, bro? What are you talking about? Asking question is normal, bro. Street guy. I'm just giving you facts. That is where we come from. To ask questions is normal. If I go anywhere, somebody go ask me, who are you from, bro? Who your people? Who you know here? That's normal culture. If you grew up around Black Americans. Nothing that you just said is out of the normal. Nothing that you just said is divisive. It is completely normal to be in our culture and hear these type of things. Straight up, bro.
Nigga, gotta show you your freedom papers? Damn, massa. I gotta show you the freedom papers?
I don't want you to catch that, y'all. He do what the hoes do. I know, ladies. I'm sorry. I know. You can boo me. That's when you try to negate me my feelings. You try to shame me for standing up and doing something I'm doing to protect myself. You ain't addressing the issue. Remember that. You shaming me by saying, you master. You're doing it, you shouldn't. I know I'm doing wrong, but you're doing wrong for asking me questions. I know I hit you in your mouth, but it's okay when I do it. It's a problem when you do it. But I'm not going to address the real issue at front. I'm going to address how you address me because how you address me is more important. My feelings matter than how your feelings matter. I know I disrespected you, but it don't matter. I know what I did to you was wrong, but it don't matter. How I feel, what I think, what I stand for, what I believe in matters than what FBA feel right now. F y'all feelings is what Deontay's saying. F y'all talking points is what Deontay's saying. What I feel outweighs it, bruh. And what I feel is you wrong. Forget if they spit on you. Forget if they put their hands on you. Forget if they disrespected your mama and I wasn't there to see it. What I judge right now is the only thing that matters. Forget the context. Forget that it's one side and the other side of the truth in the middle. He's saying what I believe outweighs any of that. And do you know how dismissive that is? Dare I say anti-intellectual that is? Even if I don't like something, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to hear it out. I'm going to hear what you're saying. I might not even like it. But as an intellectual, it is my job and my duty to hear you out. Good, bad, or different, agree or disagree. I got to listen to all sides of the spectrum. Intellectual guy. That's just how I was taught on my journey of self-growth, self-love, and self-improvement. You got to hear it all, bruh. I'm listening to all pitches, all conversations. But what I hear right now is you only listen to one. And that one you listen to outweighs that other one. Disrespectful, distasteful, and I got to say, not intellectual like, bro. But let me let you keep going with your words.
Who is these niggas on this nag? Bunch of motherfucking Stevens over there trying to check a nigga blood. Want to check a nigga papers. Sound like ICE. Another 3-letter organization. Healing and perspective or hate speech and fear mongering. But a lot of us only know how to be in community with abusers. So when niggas start talking about healing, when niggas start talking about organization.
I want y'all to pay attention to the words he used that a lot of women use that have emotion to them. Healing, trauma, toxic. Those words have a feeling that he's trying to pull out of you. None of them have the mental capacity to ask. You just quoted a lineage is like a law enforcement organization. What? You just said it made an awful comparison in real time. And the one thing I want you to know is very noticeable, and it's just me, y'all. When you have a discourse and you can only be the one to talking and nobody can question you, you a fake ass nigga, bruh. If the only time I can have a conversation is when I can dominate it and nobody can push back to me, nobody can question me, nobody's opinion is open to me, you ain't open for conversation, bruh. And remember, this is about the idea right now, not the man. When we talk about how intellectually you're supposed to be and your feelings on something is what it is, I can listen to your perspective, but you got to be willing to listen to the other side of it too, bro. And everything you just said was a limitation on what people feel and how they represent themselves in this current state in the United States.
We start talking about inclusion. We start talking about mass communal practices. You've never seen that. That's not your experience. That's not where you feel comfortable. Calling niggas names, checking niggas verification. What hood is this? What hood is that? Now, if we was gangbanging and killing each other, it would be a problem. But it's not a problem when a nigga asks where you from and it's on the internet and it's on the basis of a culture that we created out of oppression. You don't want to let other niggas participate in your culture because they come over here and degrade him. And you know the business of colonization better than anybody. These niggas is brainwashed. I'm not going back and forth with no nigga that come.
Remember, I'm not going back and forth. You are brainwashed. You are not intelligent enough. You are not able to have an intellectual conversation. Everything you said is not credible. Do y'all not know that none of this is a discourse of an intellectual conversation? Everything that you just said was shaming an individual from having an opposite perspective of you. That's all you just did right there. You lambasted that, hey, they disagree with me. Online, they are wrong. Not hearing out why they feel that way. Not listening to their point of view and their perspective. Immediately, I jump off the couch. F all that. Whatever y'all think, whatever you believe, whatever you say is wrong. Remember, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, y'all, when somebody has an underlying distaste or distone for you, you must ask yourself why that is. Why does this come out of nowhere? The inflictors are diabolical. Thank you for posting that in there, D, baby. We were never colonized. We were enslaved. Shout out to you, Golden Brown, for the offended fact. Brother, let me give you a round of applause. That's the fact. Remember, y'all, when people show you that they switch words, that they do a fast conversation, that they do not have an intellectual discourse, that they automatically throw shade, derogatory words, disrespectful tone towards a lineage of people that he's supposed to be a part of, ask yourself why. And the reason why I wanted to play this early on in my live, man, I'm going to stop playing it there, is that his rhetoric is something we're seeing come full force, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason why I wanted to point this out, if you have not paid attention, I'm going to give you the tea leaves, y'all. Look at all of these individuals who said in this tweet, Black Americans are aware of pretenders who embrace their Black lineage to undermine the progress, and they hold spots. And remember, the anti-reparations, the anti-delineations, and the anti-movements. And I want you to do a word puzzle with me. You got this, brother. You have this lady that stood on propaganda for how Black women looked. And you have this brother who is an alleged Black Panther Party. It's begrudging to say this. Light-skinned people in the country looking bad, y'all. As a light-skinned brother myself, let me go ahead and boo y'all myself. None of y'all represent the culture. None of y'all have a taste or acclimate of what's going on. None of y'all are speaking on current issues that Black Americans are even focused on. Your issues are anti what we are speaking on. Our issues are clear. Our concerns are prevalent. Our issues are well documented. And everything that we speak about has nothing to do with the immigration or other standpoint. So why is this so important that I bring this up early in the live, y'all? Share the live, comment, like, share, subscribe. We are under attack. Delineation can't stop and won't stop. And the reason why we got to invite our own delineation movement in this country is because this is currently going on. The root, experts say that the black recession in 2026 is worse, and why it's even worse for my pockets, y'all. Despite the online regulator, the United States is headed towards a recession. Black America, black folks are currently active in a recession as we speak. Let me go ahead and small my face so y'all can read it, y'all. Black people in this country said, which combined the research but a joint set by our federal partners deliver a racial economic inequality this year. The research found that black Americans are in a recession with the uncomfortable truth. In 2025, black unemployment rose from 6.72% in January to 7.5% in December, with black youth having a start up down when it comes to unemployment data. Black male unemployment is nearly 30%. The report is reporting that prime age black folk from the age of 25 to 54 have a hard time obtaining employment like they did in 2024. You have an additional 260,000 people, them being black women, that over 270 federal jobs have been gone. Black women have been impacted, where nearly 43% of the black population in DC is in for a mass crash and mass things that are not going on. It continues. Unemployment rates are not the only reason why black families are struggling. The state of the black dream are nowhere the policies by Trump, the big beautiful bill, the diminishing formula for our families, working class and permanent tax cut for higher income, leaving lower black companies and lower black families to be struggling. There's a household disparity right now. There are lower black home ownership than white ownership, with a stark 30, where only 45% black people have family ownership. Other factors include a weakened transparency, a lack of Wi-Fi, misinformation, social media platform, AI, our safety, and other federal policies. While you see people on platforms having conversations about what FBA is, what FBA is not, nobody's talking about the 40% black male unemployment rate. Nobody's talking about the dang near, 50% of black women that have been unemployed in the DC metropolitan area. No one is talking about the black family disparaging rate. No one is talking about our issues forever. You're lost. Man, you ain't got to argue with a family. Just know they are. No one is talking about these issues. So when you have people that randomly speak on black problems like FBA is bad and not on what we see going on right now, I'm going to play another video right now, y'all, that was disheartening before I go into my next topic. And the next topic is these beautiful group of sisters, y'all, lost their jobs. And we ain't talking about family, loved ones. We're talking about families and incomes lost. Pay attention.
I loved it, and it made a difference to people.
But Adrienne Birch's job with the Department of Agriculture was eliminated last February.
I started crying because I said, oh my God, I'm losing my job. I'm not prepared. I don't have enough savings.
The chainsaw for bureaucracy.
As Elon Musk took a chainsaw to the federal government, Birch says she felt forced into early retirement at age 54. Today, she says she gets 1/3 of her previous pay.
To get to a point where you made a great salary.
And you know the one thing that's noticeable in all these videos, ladies and gentlemen, share the live, comment, like, subscribe. All these beautiful sisters are by themselves, man. Is anybody noticing that ain't nobody asking where your family at? Where your husband at? Where anybody that's going to love you, because these careers have no loyalty, ladies and gentlemen. We are telling our women to go out into the workplace, do this, do that, work, kill yourself without any safety net. And to me, this is the subject that we should be focusing on. This is the thing that we should be powerfully speaking again. There's somebody that has sisters, aunties, daughters, ladies, everything in my life. This should be the priority. Not no damn FBA anti this rhetoric. This needs to be our focal point. Let it play.
6 figures and to have that ripped from you. And not because you didn't do the job well. It's painful.
Pain that was just beginning as Birch started looking for work.
I've applied for, I think, about 35 jobs or so. I've gotten 5 rejections. Most of the other ones, nothing.
And the job crisis right now, ladies and gentlemen, if you know people that are currently dealing with it that have all type of degrees, platforms, legacy, everybody that I meet that is a young lady who is educated, qualified, well-spoken, is having a job crisis. If you have a career right now, ladies and gentlemen, please work your best to keep it. Please, whatever you can do to sustain it. Please get a man, get a woman, bundle up, live together, because people all over this country on LinkedIn and multiple profiles are putting in hundreds of job applications and nobody's hiring. Do not leave. Keep your career. I know everybody's telling you everything is all right. No, hunker down right now. This is the time where you turn in an expensive car. This is that time where you stop eating out. This is that season where we got to tighten the belt. Ain't nobody talking about our issues and how we can solve it. We need each other to solve it. You need somebody around you along this path and this journey to solve it. You need somebody to go through the path and journey with, because nobody's going to be loyal to you like that man that you're going to have in the room with you. And all these beautiful women have been lied to about these careers that were going to be stable. And now they're later in their life competing against new college graduates who want to take less.
Any interviews?
No.
And she's not alone. 41-year-old Audrey Malone lost her corporate job in facilities management about a year ago.
I stopped counting my job applications after I hit like 150 or something like that.
I want you to think about how mentally draining it is to put in 150 applications and still not have a job offer. I know they're telling us that the United States is fine. Black women choose money over man. So that's the problem. No pushback, brother. And I agree with you. But I think right now, as the late, great, who he was said, winter is here, man, it's sad. And as I agree that our sisters, some of them need accountability, but there's no reason to be out here struggling, man. And for you to put in 150 job applications, being qualified, educated, and able mentally, think about the hurt that has to do for your psyche, the emotional drain it has to do.
You applied to over 150 for
I've
150
applied
jobs?
to more than 150 jobs. I just stopped counting at 150. And you look at it and you go, I'm not enough. What's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong?
Some economists say the proliferation of artificial intelligence and the elimination of DEI programs have negatively impacted Black women. And then there's the cuts to government jobs, where Black women are represented at twice the...
And I don't want to just say it's a Black woman thing, because I have a video about why I don't like that rhetoric, because I am for Black families. This whole Black women are a separate entity. We got to stop promoting that, man. They are a part of Black families. And Black families right now, including her, are taking the hit in the employment landscape. They are not an entity separate. They are under the tutelage of a Black family who are going to have Black children, and Black families are suffering. This whole let's report them separately, I'm rebuking all of that crap, and I think we need to talk about that subject next.
Rate as in the private sector. All of it has contributed to the more than 300,000 Black women who lost or left their jobs in the first half of 2025.
We almost are like the economic shock absorbers of what's coming to us.
The canary in the coal mine.
That's right.
Harvard economist Anna Gifty Apoku Agyeman.
Why should people, not
She's not a Black American woman, though. No disrespect.
just Black women, care about this?
If 7% of your body wasn't working, you wouldn't be able to function. If Black women are not able to...
I don't like how they keep segregating that, man. These are black families. She is not separate or isolated from that lineage. Black families are suffering. And I know that report is not going into black men as it should. I'm going to highlight that report. But trying to separate that too, we got to openly speak against that. Shout out to the great Dr. Cress Wilson, who spoke on this earlier, along with Shahrazad Ali.
To be full economic participants in our economy shrinks.
Last month, Representative Ayanna Pressley and more than 20 other members of...
Let's see, one of my guys said AI engineers are getting paid $90K. Google and other major companies are hiring them. The country is going to upgrade these problems if they get come to their plan outside the box, and that doesn't help. I agree with you, Frank. I agree with you. I believe, that there is a shift into the family-based economy and unit that we saw in times past, and we just have to adjust to it, and not go against the grain.
Congress demanded that the Department of Labor take immediate action to address the rising unemployment crisis among black women.
The crisis for black women is not an issue. We need to have an economic issue for black families. Empowering one without investment in the children and the man and each other is pointless. Why am I going to invest into one single individual and not the entity? I want you to think about how crazy that is psychologically from that perspective. I'm going to invest in one gender, not the complete family unit. What is it going to do for the others? I understand that you have some black women that need the assistance. I get that part. But that is not a part of the family unit. Individuals do not overshadow the family. Black family investment, black family units going into those issues. Black families are the priorities, not this individualistic perspective. That is not going to carry or go over well into the next society and what issues we're hearing into. We hear about these issues being gone into deeper. And the reason why I wanted to point that video out is because, as we go into our social norms, y'all, and I keep going into FBAs are under attack. When I say FBAs, I'm speaking specifically about the families and the perspective of the Black American family unit. And there was a video sent to me by one of my subscribers. Shout out to my dogs. But this one hit deep for me. And this video was scary. Because like I showed in that last video about black women unemployment, there's actually a movement right now being pro-black womanness. I didn't even know what that word meant. To me, it's all another version of feminism. Clip this right here. We are no longer in first wave feminism. Right now in this country, gentlemen, we are in third and fourth wave. First wave feminism was again equal rights and having access to work. No pushback. Now in this wave of feminism and hierarchy that we deal with now, none of it has to do with about equality. It's about you getting preferential treatment. You getting things that may not have been earned, and you getting things that take away from black families' units. And I want you to hear this rhetoric of this young lady and this, if you didn't know Crowded Game, this shocking bit of information that was said online, and it was alarming to me. Watch the video.
Down my throat when I said that other races of men, particularly these men, love dark-skinned black women the most. And not only am I here to double and triple down on what I said, but I'm also here to say that I am not fully pro-black. I am pro-black woman.
Some stuff you gotta hear it again. But when you say I'm pro-gender, what? What about the kids? What about the families? What about those that are going to be earning into a society? Excuse me the whole Trump stuff because he didn't hit me behind losing a job, but they're going to have to figure it out. They'll just have to figure it out. I agree with you, brother. They'll have to figure it out by choosing who we're going to have to grow with. Men choose money over black women the same that can be said to you. You act like you're looking out for black women, but nobody's checking for black women. Y'all on the internet saying anything. I disagree with you, brother. Your perspective is what it is, and this is what I always like to do. I don't duck no smoke. Let me go ahead and drop it down in the chat for you, baby. You can come up here and talk about it. Because one thing I don't hear is I don't duck no smoke when I have intellectual conversation. You don't have to say anything else. I always just drop in the chat and say, if you bout it, brother. Pittsburgh, Missouri. I thank you live for the show. Shout out to Pittsburgh, Missouri, Mississippi, baby. Thank you. Let it keep playing.
There is a big difference. And a lot of times, like, Black men will come into the comments making all these defenses and all these things. But like, what we have to understand is a lot of the pro-Black ideas were created by men who were misogynists. And I don't agree with that.
Remember what I told you earlier about those buzzwords, ladies and gentlemen? Misogynist, narcissist, trauma, etc. Those words let you know that it's disingenuous. Those words let you know that they do not have a real motive for what they're saying. Where these come from? My child support. You steady playing on YouTube with Lil DeQuan in these school shows. What? Okay. I don't know who your baby daddy is, man, but white women are not there. Black men are required to choose money because Black women don't allow the price out. Oh, you ain't got to say no more, y'all. We're speaking on it. Let's keep talking. The women that talk like that are usually from our lineage. Shout out to my boy, Brandon. I agree with you 1,000%, Brandon. But when we have these intellectual discourse, ladies and gentlemen, I believe it's important to talk, but let us keep talking. Let us keep listening.
They have total respect, well, some respect for the men of the 50s and the 60s who led the civil rights movements and all that stuff. But a lot of them were really misogynist. I love MLK.
I want y'all to pay attention. Misogynist, this, toxic. These are women that we do not need to worry about nor have a conversations with. As I've talked about what FBA is worried about, we are worried about building up what we have to do. But I want y'all to see this. Like, unlike other people, we listen for intellectual discourse and conversation. And the intellectual discourse and conversation I want you to have, ladies and gentlemen, is to A, identify this, and to B, when you hear it, you know how to correct it. I'm going to let it play a little bit more, and then I'm going to respond to it.
Hey, but he cheated on his wife with a lot of different women. I've heard horror stories.
Remember, what you do in your relationship. Shout out to my daddy. When I got old enough and I spoke to my father about him and my mom's relationship problems, clip this, you know my daddy told me? Son, your mama is my woman. Whatever we go through, whatever we deal with, you will never understand on a relationship level. You are the child, the outsider. The relationship that I have with my woman is none of your damn business. What MLK had with Miss MLK is none of your damn business. Whatever that relationship has going on, it is nothing that I can speak on about it. It is between two individuals and your perspective does not hold. So for you to mention problems, issues, or whatever they dealt with, you are out of pocket, man. You are out of pocket to speak on another person's relationship and to speak on what they go through and what they go with. Just like I was out of pocket to speak on my parents' relationship. I was the child. I was the outsider. I can't speak on the internal dynamics of that. I got to stay in the outside perspective and number one, learn that my opinion has no sway in their relationship. Yeah, wrong live, Tracy. I don't know what you was talking about. Black women said they're making 40,000 enough. Man, a lot of them brainwashed. You're right. You're right. You're right. Hey, that is a deeper conversation because remember, when they say protection, and I always say provision, provision is not the only thing about money. Not by Tracy. She's giving Candace Owens vibe. You're right, brother. Hey, my pops kept it 1,000 on me, Frank. My pops told me, Terrell, don't matter what I do with my woman, it ain't none of your business. Kane Crowder, stay in your place. And I understood that. And I learned that to speak on anybody's relationship. Whatever they got going on ain't none of my business, bro. Good, bad, or indifferent, you stay in your place with it. That's my woman. That's your woman. And your woman, what y'all got going on. But for me to get on the open platform and say what you did with your woman is wrong, I'm wrong for speaking on it. We are so out of course for speaking on people's relationship. We are wrong for even speaking on it. In my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let it keep playing.
About the Black Panthers. So my Black idea is not architected by men, and it never will be. I stand by what I said. I see white men loving dark-skinned Black women the most. When I traveled to Asia and I saw interracial couples, the women who got to wear their hair exactly how they wanted to wear their hair and still look beautiful and still feel beautiful, every single one of them, their 4C hair, every single one of them had a white man on their arm. I keep hearing pro-Black woman is anti-Black man. Pro-Black woman is anti-Black man. But how can we be anti-Black man if most of y'all are our preference? We like the idea in totality of most of y'all, but it's the reality of what we have to face with y'all that is the problem. And that's why we as Black women have to focus on protecting ourselves. We have to focus on being seen, heard, valued, and understood amongst our own so that we can regroup, collect, and actually find solace and peace within ourselves and within our own community. It's not that we are excluding Black men from the conversation. It's that the version of y'all that continue to exist in a way that doesn't fully shed light on the full community as in totality. So Black women have to focus on women and children.
Okay.
Let me pause and say this, man. I feel sorry that your dad and you didn't have a relationship where you understood that you don't need to speak against Black men because it took you a man and your father to get here. Instead of you speaking openly on a platform about issues that you need to figure out with your father and your man, I hope that you can get a therapist, a journal, and figure out how to fix that. But to openly say that dark-skinned women, hair, and the things that you repeated openly, ma'am, you need help. You need to understand that there are no women without their fathers and their men. You need to understand that it takes a family unit to build, develop. I know that you said that you were traveling, but I saw no ring and I saw no love with you. For you to get on the platform and to say and speak openly like you did and say you didn't say it was anti-men. No, what you are anti-Black families. And if you're going to speak on Black families, which are going to outweigh the individual as a whole, you have to know that you are wrong. You have to know that what you're saying is systematically not going to work. It's not going to be able to repeat, and it has no weight. Why did I show that video for that long? For my fellas, when you hear a womanist, feminist, or whoever that is say some rhetoric like that, you don't negotiate, you don't debate. You go on. You have the right to feel the way you feel. That means I don't have to entertain it. That doesn't mean that I have to listen to it. That doesn't mean that I have to date it. I don't even want you to clap cheeks. I know. I don't. I want you to cut them off. I want you to stop texting. I want you to stop negotiating. I want you to stop arguing because these people need help. And unless you're going to point them in a way into a psychologist or a therapist's office, leave them alone. To say that I am pro one gender without children or families included, you cannot help them. As a man, how am I going to continue to go to work, work out, eat, get in shape, build a life, work on myself, get my mind right, and debate with you when I get home about feminism and womanism? It's not going to work. If you are in a transition period to be the best version of yourself, to read, to actively do things, you cannot have someone like that in your life. If you, as a womanist, whatever you want to call yourself, a pro-Black woman, that cannot be your woman, fellas. Do not lay with them. Do not talk to them. Do not negotiate with them. Simply pat, turn, and leave. Do not have conversation. Do not have anything. Allow them to think how they want to think. It is up to the fellas from today moving forward. As we enter the beautiful Black History Month, we have too many women out here that want to be with you. Go where you are appreciated and not tolerated. Go where you are loved and embraced. Do not spend time talking to these batshit crazy women. And to say that I'm pro-Black women and no pro-Black family, there is nothing more that needs to be discussed. Nothing more. And the reason why I want to show that video so big, man, you talking about what girl, man, what is this girl talking about? Family, I had to break it down. I know, Frank, I had to talk about it. We got to know how to intellectually go into those conversations. Remember, it's not just for us, y'all. We got young brothers. We got the YNs in here. YNs, drop in the chat for me. People don't realize AI is about to do these jobs because a lot of people are without jobs. I agree. You can't be pro-black woman and anti-black man. This is exactly what Kyle was talking about when he promotes that message. Doesn't act like all black men are horrible. Never had a black man dislike the texture on my head. Majority of them loved it. We ain't weave. All facts. I'm not screaming, brother. I'm speaking passionately. And again, you can come on the chat and tell me how you feel, baby. Remember, I just speak like it's all the time, man. Ain't no bass in my voice. I'm sorry you wasn't raised around strong men, bro. This is normally how we talk. I'm talking normal, no yelling. No elevated voice, just me and a passionate subject, man. But as we continue to go on with more live on Sunday, y'all, share the live, share the live, share the live, man. Remember what I told y'all. I love to give you current information and current news story. I love to dive in with my people and talking about what we got going on. Did you know that there is a sitting judge in this country who got on a recorded camera and said this? Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen, pay attention.
That breaking news from the 7 investigators, a local judge accused of making racist and homophobic comments is
a sitting judge in America said what?
vacating her position after being removed from her docket more than a year ago.
It's a story the 7 investigators first broke in September of 2024. 7 investigator Heather Catallo is here with what she has learned.
This has been a long process. You'll recall we revealed.
Shout out to Jason Black, who put me on game when he said this earlier, ladies and gentlemen. We do not have a justice system in this country. We have a court system. And to have an active judge who made disparaging slurs and racist rhetoric, who has to be told to vacate instead of remove from her position in Oakland, not Mississippi, not Central Arkansas, Oakland.
Recordings of Judge Kathleen Ryan making some shocking statements. Judge Ryan has essentially been on paid leave for 15 months and once described herself in those recordings as untouchable. The Judicial Tenure Commission has been investigating this for more than a year, but they did not take action against her. Her lawyer is confirming to me late today that she is retiring, and the vacancy.
I want y'all to think about this for a second. I was allowed to make a slur, a rhetoric, a conversation, and a statement, and I was allowed to retire on my own cognizance. Where's HR at? Where's the press? Where are people saying, no, she don't get to retire peacefully? Why don't she get to get fired and humiliated on her job like other people do? Why does a judge go on leave for 15 months? What the hell, Leonte? If I say something on my job right now, do I get to have leave for 15 months? Do I get to have the ability to say to people, oh yeah, man, I'm still in this position. I'm still getting paid, even though I said a disgusting, disparaging remark, and I get to go with it, and it's fine? Why do we do that in this country, ladies and gentlemen? Remember, this person is in charge of people's livelihood. A judge can sentence you. A judge can change your financial situation. A judge can stack up charges against you. A judge can choose where your life is currently going to be. But who oversees the judges, y'all? Who holds them accountable? Who says what is their malpractice? Why isn't there overseeing of people outside the court system to monitor what they do? Again, all the rhetoric we heard today about what FBA is, FBAs are trying to make this country more modernized. We're talking about delineation and why the problems we need to address right now are actively going on. When they're disparaging what we do, remember, y'all, why? Because the leaks, the potholes, the problems, the issues, the things that we see got going on right now, we're trying to fix. And you have a Channel 2 investigating who saw this report, and she still got to go peacefully? Let me let it keep playing.
For her position has already been posted by the governor's office for potential candidates to apply for an appointment to the bench.
I can honestly say that, okay, I'm not systemically racist, I'm a new racist.
The 7 investigators were the first to reveal the recordings that Oakland County officials say prompted Judge Kathleen Ryan's removal from her docket in August of 2024.
Black. I'm so off at this Black Lives Matter, hashtag Me Too, all this.
Wow. Y'all, this is a judge, a impartial interpreter of the law, on camera, slurring, saying accusations, swearing, and saying what you agree with. I'm all for you speaking on your political opinion, ma'am, and how you believe. I'm even open to how you're leaning. But we know you are saying on this docket that I am a new racist, but I have black clients that I oversee. No, y'all. This needs to make more national headway and national news. This conversation about this judge needs to go as viral as everything else we talk about, because this right here is another example of the court system, not the justice system in this country. I'm gonna let it play for a little bit more before I get my final commentary.
Oh my God, like you.
On Wednesday, a judicial vacancy was posted on the State Bar website saying the former Oakland County Chief Probate Pro Tem judge was vacating her position on the bench.
How does she get to vacate without being removed? How do you get to have that ability to say when you gonna leave? That is crazy to me, y'all. She got to choose when she left her job. She wasn't fired. She got to step down. I want you to think about this right quick, ladies and gentlemen. If you go and say some disparaging remark about other ethnicities, do you have that same leverage? Do you have that same ability to choose when you're going to step down? Are you going to step down? When you going to step down? Where you going to step down? The answer, hell to the no. You getting fired, pushed out, ID revoked, money without a bond. So when we talk about the injustices and what FBA is focusing on, this is what we're talking about. So ignore again, y'all, when they attack us. Stay the course. Stay on course. Stay focused. Stay prepared. Stay locked in. This is what our focus needs to be on.
Good morning. You may be seated. Ryan was a probate judge for 13 years until the Oakland County Probate Court administrator filed a complaint against her, alleging Ryan had been harassing him, calling him after hours for years, and making racist and other inappropriate comments.
I've never met
13 years on the job, y'all.
Anybody that enjoys hurting people and brags about it the way she does, or intimidating people, scaring people.
Hutton said,
where was HR? Where was the hotline? The anonymous tips?
His complaint was not acted on for months, so he then sent the recordings of his calls with Judge Ryan to state and county officials.
I just want to make it right, and I want the people in Oakland County that come to court to get a fair shake, to have their day in court, to have an unbiased trier of facts.
If you're black from any other country, you're doing way better. If you're an American black person, then you're a lazy piece of.
Judge Ryan has been paid for the last 15 months while she was out of the courthouse.
Could you imagine, y'all? Could you imagine you on your job being recorded saying this when you have the livelihood of people in your hands? Could you imagine? Not free Diddy. Free Diddy. Not the baby oil, man. You crazy. All her cases should be under review of performances race. Our facts. Everything, Mr. McDonald. It's been old news. Hey, again, David, is old news to you. All races. HR too. You ain't lying, brother. But all I'm saying is this, y'all. Old news to some, new news to others. Again, all the issues, the problems we see going on in this country, and we are focusing on things that do not matter. Another huge thing that mattered to me, y'all, when you see something that is glaring, I want you to pay attention to it. Recent layoffs, Oakland County, brother. Yes, sir, Oakland County. Recent layoffs, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and make this bigger so you can see it. Surprised that it's just white people. Hey, it's all, hey, that's why it was everybody, dog. Everybody, Mr. Badway, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, pop in, man. Some are unaware. You're right. Hey, we got to talk about it, brother. Remember, new music is new music to other people, not us, brother. So if you have the knowledge, share the knowledge. You feel me? Share the knowledge and share the lie, baby. Y'all, the recent layoffs, y'all, if you have not got the new information, you know that's why I'm here to bring it to your attention. The U.S. government laid off 300,000 people. Wow. Think about that, y'all. 300,000 people is more people than my hometown I grew up in. 300,000 people is literally more than half the population of a lot of cities. 300,000 people lost their jobs in the last wave announcements, being displaced or removed. Then you have UPS with 78,000, Amazon with 30, Intel, Nissan, Nestle, Microsoft, Dell, Verizon, Ford, Microsoft, PwC, Salesforce, IBM, American Airlines, Paramount, Target, GM, Applied Materials, Kroger, and Meta. I see all these numbers, y'all. And when we hear all this information about displaced jobs, I got a question, and this is something serious right now. Where are they going to go? We see that people on open TV are saying, I'm having to put in 150 applications before I get a call back. If you have a high-paying job in certain areas of certain sectors of towns, what is the solution? We know what the problems are. We talk about the problems here, right? We do. But what is the solution you have for almost, let me run the numbers right quick, y'all, almost 600,000 people that are unemployed now? What are we going to do to help those individuals, to transition them, to help them have a stable workforce, to help them move along the economy lines, to help them if they have to realign, to have to re-go and redevelop? Number one option I want to throw out there for most of my people, and I hope y'all ready to hear this. You need to find you somebody. You need to find you somebody. We are no longer in our parents' economy. We are no longer, I don't need nobody. Yes, you do. That somebody that used to like you, that man or woman that used to want to build with you, you may have to go back up in the build with them again. I know it's uncomfortable to hear. I know it's not pleasant to talk about, but we are in a build the boo, have somebody economy. All this, I can live, be by myself, figure it out by myself. No, you cannot. AI is at the early stage. It is only going to get more aggressive, more ways to think about it, more ways to remove jobs, more ways to challenge income, more ways to move career paths. To think that you will not have to build with anyone, you are simply just either prideful or misguided. And the reason why I want to highlight this, ladies and gentlemen, is because marriage is going to be the new investment in America. I know. In my lifetime, I don't think we've ever had a conversation about reinvesting in marriage, specifically for black families. Y'all know I love black families, right? But right now, we are in a phase where we need to talk about investment and what we have to do to get families going. If I was in the Trump administration, let me put my hat on. You need to have a bill proposed to black families with a tax break, an incentive program, and a new housing program. There needs to be an economic push and investment. Get away from the tax breaks, remove those tax breaks, and reinvest them to families in America. Without us having families in America, workers will not be displaced. Economy will be at a halt, and what we will need to have to keep going in this country will stop. The reason why it will continue to happen, ladies and gentlemen, is because everybody wants to be selfish. And this is for my single people right now. This is for my single people. This creator, I don't know who this brother was. I want to hear what he said about the new economy and the new normal. Pay attention.
3 reasons anyone who doesn't like 50-50 is really a user. Let's be clear, 50-50 isn't about splitting every bill down the middle. It's about shared effort, shared responsibility, and shared respect. And anyone who rejects that entirely isn't looking for partnership. They're looking for advantage. Now, one, they want the benefits without the burden. They love what you provide. They enjoy your effort. They expect consistency from you, but offer excuses when it's their turn. That's not love. That's consumption. You see, a partner asks, how can I help? A user asks, what can you do? Two, they confuse entitlement with standards. There's a difference between knowing your worth and demanding someone else fund your comfort. You see, real standards come with accountability. Entitlement comes with expectations and no contribution. If someone believes love should cost you everything and them nothing, they're not high value, they're dependent. And three, they avoid equality because it exposes their intentions. 50-50 reveals character. It shows effort, discipline, and reciprocity. People who resist it often do so because equality removes their leverage. When contribution is mutual, manipulation doesn't work. And users don't thrive where balance exists. Listen to me, and listen to me good. A relationship isn't a sponsorship. Provision doesn't mean exploitation. And love doesn't demand one-sided sacrifices. Anyone allergic to 50-50 isn't afraid of fairness. They're afraid of being exposed. Because real love isn't about who gives more. It's about who gives honestly.
Shout out to that brother, man. I don't think the 50-50 conversation, I don't get it personally, man. I believe you should be 100-100. But based off this economy, the layoffs, the government instability, the problems, the discourse, the issues that we are currently seeing right now, y'all, anybody talking about they don't want to build or go anywhere with anybody needs to be put to that left. Remember, fellas, 2026, you are not negotiating what you need. You are not negotiating why it takes a family to have this. You are not going into any conversation. This is the family growth and development period. I want all my people to be happy. I want all y'all to have the blessings that need to come to you. But what you need to do is you need to have a standard. You need to have a way that you're going to go about it. You need to be able to articulate why it's important. And you need to understand what is going on. The economy is bad. It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. Partnership, growing together, developing with each other are the only thing that need to be on the menu, y'all. Of course, we have other things that are important. But right now, as we see in this country, everybody is facing problems. Everybody is facing situation. And everybody is facing hard times. Let's go ahead, man, for our black. I want you to tap in right quick, y'all. I did not give y'all my top 10 Black history recommended list. Pay attention, y'all. Number 1, Sundown Towns. Number 2, the autobiography of Malcolm X. Number 3, New Visions for Black Men. Number 4, Lies That My Teacher Told Me. Number 5, The ISIS Papers. Number 6, Cass. Number 7, How to Eat to Live. Number 8, The Man Not. Number 9, The Black Tax. Number 10, The Medical Apartheid. Number 11, Negro Revolts. Number 12, Black Panther Party. Let me go ahead and repeat it again. Sundown Towns, the autobiography of Malcolm X, New Visions for Black Men, Lies My Teacher Told Me, The ISIS Papers, Caste, How to Eat to Live, The Man Not, The Black Tax, The Black Panther Party, Medical Apartheid, and Negro Revolts. That is all. The early part of my Black History Month list. All through this month, I'm going to continue to throw gems at you, give gems to you, and continue to break down more about why this is so special and why you continue to lead more. Next up on the list, man, if you did not know, the Grammys were going on right now. And I believe this brother, this creator right here from TikTok said something important to me. We don't care about the award shows. The streets will always determine what's popping. But this creator right here, shout out to this white brother. I'm not anti this. I just speak truth to power. Says something, and I wanted to hear your thoughts on it.
I think Sinners is going to win a single Oscar, and let me tell you why. Sinners broke a record today with 16 nominations, more than any film in history. And while I feel that's a good sign that an incredible movie that should win awards will win awards, I think it's a false flag. The narrative around Sinners will be, well, regardless of whether or not it wins any awards, it still gets this prestige of being the only film ever to be nominated 16 times. And I think that lingering thought in the back of the minds of so many Academy voters is going to keep them from voting for performances in Sinners. The only possible locked category win that I see for Sinners is Best Original Song with I Lied to You.
Blues wasn't forced on us like that religion.
I want y'all to think about this for a second. If you have not known, y'all, let me go ahead and tell white America something. Nobody cares about your award shows. White America, nobody cares about your awards in the Generation Zone down. It meant something to older generation of Black Americans, but to the young ones, I have never watched the Grammy. It has no sway on how I think, what it means for an artist, or the captivity of it. The reason why the Grammys, the Oscars, any of that stuff has no sway, because I remember vividly in 2012, Macklemore won Best Hip Hop Album over Good Kid, Mad City. That is irredeemable. Nothing more you can say forward to me can ever convince me that you are tapped into the culture, that you know what the culture says, know what the culture wants, or have the ability to speak on it. When Macklemore, no disrespect to the brother, won over Good Kid, Mad City, you don't represent our culture. The streets control the culture. We don't care about your judgment, your casting, what you think, what your ideology, how you feel. It does not matter. Sinners was an original film. It was a phenomenal film. It was a phenomenal watch. It is a classic. And it doesn't matter if you like it. It doesn't matter if you want it. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. The same way that Black Americans still bump Good Kid, Mad City, and it will have a cult classic album feel, will be the same way with Sinners. And I want to point this out to show you how much the award shows have lost their relevance. Tell me who hosted it 4 years ago. Tell me who was the best catapulting artist you were on tour with. Tell me the last time that a hip hop artist went to the Grammy that actually got nominated correctly. Tell me when y'all can speak or tap into what the culture is going for you. I hate to say it. The Grammys, the Oscars, the Academy Awards are far-going representations. Right now, social media has completely taken y'all standpoints and y'all are irrelevant. We don't care. We don't listen. The streets rock with you, and that is enough. I'm going to say it again. Macklemore won Album of the Year in the rap category over Kendrick. Nothing you say matters. Nothing you believe in has any sway. We don't give a damn what you think. If no one's ever told you Oscar nomination, Grammy Award shows, or any of it, it has no sway. It has sway with the other side of America. But in FBA society, we don't care. We don't. We don't. Okay, you gotta laugh. Hey, brother, you know I ain't lying devil's person, man. We never love you every. Love your info, your energy, peace and blessings to you, man. Walt Tech MD. You remember Devil Pieces? Macklemore won it over K-Dot, brother. How could we forget that? I remember I was in my dorm room bed my freshman year and saw it. It was irredeemable. It let me know they are not tapped into the culture. And ever since then, I can't name you a hip-hop Grammy. I can't name you a Grammy performance. Maybe in LA it matters. But culturally, they lost their relevance. They are now, all those nominations are older and white. Millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, do not listen to you. They listen to academics. They listen to Joe Budden. They listen to the streamers. They listen to the current people that have the sway and emotion. But the old white folks, y'all fell off. We don't care. We don't listen to Billboard. None of those have sways except for those people that tap into that. But the metrics do not catapult what's going on because you can't dictate culture. You can't dictate what's popping. Only the streets, the grassroots can. Only the pavement, the blacktop, they control what the state of the culture is. They control what's popping. They control what the energy, what's new, and what's going to be going on. Remember, they didn't believe in sinners. Remember what that reporter said that Ben Stiller had to speak on? Remember what they said about them people and how egregious it was to say that thing publicly? Remember those things? The corporate media is so out of touch. And to prove it more, the corporate media is out of touch, y'all. I'm going to give you something that's going to make you smile. Follow me, y'all. Follow me. If you are new here, comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. You know King Carter going to stay with that heat. It ain't too long ago when the corporate media told me buying online real estate was better than buying real life real estate. I ain't too old to remember that. Remember that, y'all? Drop in the comments. Remember when they was pushing that narrative? Remember that? Buy real estate online. Buy a virtual house. A virtual house online will be worth more than your house. Remember when they was pushing NFTs? Remember when they was pushing the tokens and the coins? Remember when Elon Musk pushed his Doge? Remember when everybody told us what we should spend our money on to make our money remove? Remember that? I'm old enough to remember that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm old enough to remember, oh, they lied to us. Remember the food pyramid? Remember growing up, y'all, they had the food pyramid where they said you're supposed to eat meat, eat cheese, drink dairy every day, and that was considered healthy? Remember that? Remember when they told us to eat 3 times a day, but now they really push intermittent fasting? I had to learn that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad pushed that, but they called him crazy. Everything that corporations push to us, ladies and gentlemen, is wrong. Do y'all notice that? Oh, my millennial, come on, man. Y'all got to remember it with me. Do y'all not remember the virtual real estate? Do y'all not remember when they said get your 401k and spend $6,000 on buying real estate online? Y'all remember that? I do. Lamar got 26. True, dog. But remember, that is not the year we're talking about, brother. Remember when Macklemore won it? I still ain't forget that. Build back better, not just for America's facts. That's why the underground exists. Facts, dog. Facts. I remember NMC. You remember that? That was you remember that, dog? Remember when they told us to drain our bank accounts and they told us to buy virtual land? I remember that. I remember when me and my dog, shout out to my dog, Nate Baby. When me and Nate P went to a seminar and they told us, forego you buying a house, get the online real estate. Get the online real estate because that is going to determine how much more money you're going to have over everyone else. We got to come back and spin the block, y'all. We got to stay current with these issues. We got to remember when they lie to us and not be afraid to hold them accountable when they do. And the reason why we got to remember this stuff up, y'all, I remember when Nigerian Americans, going back to our original topics, told us we are not like you black men. Remember when Manuel Ocho said this comment? That I am not like you because I come from a different background? I'm not like you American blacks because I look at things different. I don't have the trauma. Even though I had to leave my home country of Nigeria because they don't have roads or standard education or piping or basic necessities. They don't have that. But you have the trauma, even though my parents had to flee where we came from. But you black people don't know what you're talking about. I'm a Nigerian man representing for black people.
Echo gets checked by them laughing over black Americans.
I know why they say that because I've been in them rooms when they saying that. When I kick it with black people and they're like, all white people are racist. I know why you're saying that. All the while, I have the privilege and luxury of not having generational trauma.
Can I say something, y'all? What black friends do you have, Acho? Let me keep it 100. You may have Nigerian friends like that, but when are you around Black American men that really are tapped in with the culture, with the street, that you are having race conversations? You're not my type of guy. I'm representing other FBA culture 1,000% in the field, in the streets, around us. Come on, bro. For real? I remember when you said you were having black conversations when you were a Nigerian man. I remember that. Remember, y'all, we have to spin the block. We got to hit a U-turn. We got to talk about these things. I remember when you said on TV, on national public TV, saying this. You don't represent for no culture, bro. You ain't tapped in. You ain't got no motion. It was propped up by somebody else, Yacho. Keep it funky, bro. You got on TV and said this like you talking about you don't have the trauma when they ain't even goddamn running water where you from, dog. You lied to us. Black culture is a culture that we keep it 1,000, bro. White folk, anybody can come around, but you can't come around lying. And what you was doing, Acho, you was lying, my boy. Can we keep it funky? You was lying. I know you lying. They know you lying. We know you lying. You ain't built that way. You ain't really got no sway. You ain't really got no clout. You can't drop no fly and get no black men to come out and represent for you. Ain't nobody standing up or really behind you. I know you ain't, because you was snatching the joint at the job, and when they mentioned it, you got in your feelings. You ain't even had a cultural wherewithal to know that, man, you can't do that at work with no white woman. You really think you are the same and you can move different. I know you ain't tapped in on a part of us, because one of your homeboys should have told you. You can front to everybody else. You can say the words and act like you have the impact and act like you have the sway, but I can read right through you, my boy. Read right through you. And I know this is not a target, man. You don't represent my culture. You represent Nigerian America's culture. You represent the immigrant class of culture. You represent what they go through. You represent those trying to assimilate it and trying to be cool, but not the ones that don't have to code switch. Not the one that come from the trenches and had to build it brick by brick. Not the ones that's going to speak on it good, bad, or indifferent. Oh, my boy. You don't represent us. You have zero say, zero influence. And let's keep it funky too, bro. You have more at your early career, and that's to be respected. But no black Americans want to be like you, fam. They don't. No sway, no conversation, no ability to pack anything. You just don't have that. And that's a fact.
Because my parents were born in Nigeria. So then my method is removing some of the sting, because I don't have that sting, and trying to deliver a message in a manner that people can receive it. Primarily white people.
Okay. Van was too nice. I want to say something right quick. So you're going to speak for another man from a third person perspective who didn't have actual identity with it? So let me get this straight. I'm going to speak for a culture that I'm not a part of, don't have a physical restraint to, don't have the understanding, don't have the cognitive ability to get. But I'm going to speak on how you should feel and what you should think. I'm going to get on live TV right now and say black Americans should feel like this. Don't nobody can tell us disingenuous. Can't nobody tell that it has no sway. Can't nobody tell like, man, this motherfucker full of shit. Can't nobody tell he on the BL. We all see through it, do you not? You can at least say I'm out of my depth. If they ask me what the current state is in Nigeria, I don't know, fam. I'm FBA. I'm not going to speak about it. I'm not going to attempt to speak for it. I'm not going to attempt to stand on it. I'm going to let the bullets lie where they lay. But for you to get on national TV speaking to a black American from the great state of Louisiana, the boot, shout out to BR, and to tell them what you think, boy, he should have hit them. Yeah, the Grammys are rigged. Facts, fam. I know you on it, man. Young and spending money on online games, aka Fortnite, corporations just printing money. Big facts. Didn't Nigeria displace 20 of the people who laid off by the civil water? Crickets on that. When the money comes in, nobody cares about race anymore. It happens in Hispanic communities a lot. I agree with you, fam. I agree. But the Hispanic community got their own stuff. You know y'all talk about stuff. Shout out to my Latinos. I got some fam I love. Some I don't like, some I love. Shout out to my dogs. I rock with some of y'all. Let me shout out to you. Remember, man, when I speak on black issues, I know if it's a Latino issue, I have no business speaking as a primary voice for that. I got to be able to listen. If my ball right now just comment and say, Troy, this is how we feel, it's my duty to listen to it. But to hear this brother, that's a Nigerian American speaking on that, let's go ahead and talk about it.
Let me tell you why what you just said offends me.
Okay.
All right. First of all, there are a couple of things. I grew up South Baton Rouge, Louisiana. All my classmates were white. I was in the gifted program. All of my classmates were white from the beginning. McKinley High School, gifted program, McKinley High, 80% black school, gifted program, all white, Vans in the class with them, Vans in the class, Vans playing basketball and sports and everything else with the black kids.
Shout out to Van Jones. I ain't know all about you.
I can't be tripping. I used to watch $1 million. I can't be tripping.
No, I genuinely have a question.
All right, y'all. Let me shout out to Van Jones. I'm gonna get back
Emmanuel Echo gets.
They get on here and say
Jesus, y'all.
part-time and full-time.
I'm sorry. I'm trash, y'all.
Emmanuel Echo gets.
They get on here and say part-time.
Let me try one more time. If it don't work,
Emmanuel Echo gets.
Trauma, and you didn't mean it this way, but the reason, and it's, I have to name it. You saying that you don't have any generational trauma, in some way meaning, or that in some way meaning that your delivery method to white people is going to be either more effective or more sanitized is, to me, dangerous. And let me tell you why. Everybody that you just named and what you're talking about does what they do in different ways. I don't think that any of the things that they do are necessarily harmful. But what I could say is a black man, a prominent one, acting as an emotional butler for white people and serving them the most milquetoast, unspicy, unseasoned brand of racial discourse and accountability possible could definitely be harmful, because of what it does. I saw episodes where you were on there.
Van Jones spiced it up nice and kept it nicely. Bro, you don't speak for us because you ain't us, fam. Van told him in a professional way that you don't know what the hell are you talking about. I'm going to say it in the other way. You do not represent the culture. Those who are attacking FBA don't represent the culture. That's the problem. As we mentioned earlier, that is the why. They can't control it. They can't dictate it. They can't pivot it. They can't correct it. They have a problem that they are outsiders. The beautiful thing about the delineation movement, y'all, is that your work has to lead you. Your effort has to lead you. Your credibility means something. If you can't go online and just say something and we don't speak on it anymore, the inclusive narrative, that I do what I want narrative will not work. Because you know what we're doing now that we didn't do before? I don't mean to be embarrassing, y'all, but you know I got to show this work. The top 40 cities of the worst quality of life in America. The top 40 cities. Number one is where I chose from. Let me make that list bigger for you, y'all. Nigeria is the number one worst city in the world. Didn't Acho say that I can speak on this and sanitize these issues? Didn't Acho say I'm a buffer and I can make things lighter and not be able to handle certain issues? Acho, what about this? Beat your chest and speak on this. I want you to be as transparent as you was on all issues. Not one, not two, but all. The delineation movement is about this, ladies and gentlemen. It is about a transparent perspective. It is about honesty. It is about, yo, before you speak on our internal issues, which we have them, do you speak on yours? Are you credible enough to tell us about what Black Americans should be dealing with? Why your people messed up? The number one worst ranked country in the world. Do you have the ability to speak on us? No shade, y'all. No disrespect intended. But we're going to be honest here. We're going to keep it real. Before you talk about me, what are you doing about you? Are you a good man? Do you take care of your family? Are you credible? Do other brothers listen to you? Before you can speak on what Black men represent, is your house in order? The Deontay Kyles, the Emmanuel Achos, they all the same ninja. They are speaking on something when internally they don't lead nothing. Every bit of issues they do to say what we should be doing, let's look at them. How is their family situation? Where are the Black men that they listen to them? Where are the brothers they leading? Where are the Black men tutelage have they studied under? Where are the other brothers that they can put on their city that they put on? Where are the brothers that they love on? Where are the brothers that they help? What has been their career path? Who's sponsoring them? The delineation movement is about that. It is about everybody holding court. About everybody holding your nuts. I'll ask, what Black community thinks of Stephen A. Smith? Man, don't nobody listen to no damn Stephen A. Smith, brother. They don't. They don't, man. Damn, Acho. Hey, facts, brother. You feel me? That was perfect. People say they're waiting to change, but they ain't since another come out of the rain. Nigeria is a state, not a city. Nobody disagreeing with you, brother. But don't, hey, what we call this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is a pivot. Remember, he is pivoting the conversation to avoid what I'm talking about. That is, again, is a part of the delineation movement. What is your credibility for you to speak for us, by us, with us, change us, move us? It ain't stopping. It won't stop. People who do not have an intact tact on the culture speak against it. I'm not pro-Black. I'm pro what? How can you be? I'm pro families. I'm pro us winning. I'm pro people who show love, who stand on the history, and to do right by our lineage and our women. Can I shout out somebody, man? Somebody just sent me something, man. And this is going to one of my guys right here. Shout out to the Latinos again. I got to give credit where it's due, brother. Shout out to this brother. I wasn't familiar with his work. Lefty Gunplay. Let it play.
Shout out to Kendrick Lamar. Also, God, my mom, the whole PG Lane. Definitely my nigga Soundwave. Lefty Gunplay. Sean Monberger somewhere out there. Everybody at 10 Summers. I just want to give a shout out to the genre that changed my life, which is hip hop. Yeah.
I want to thank Kendrick Lamar for putting a Latino on, and to other Latino kids in the hood watching, anything is possible. OTR, TDE, PG Lane.
Shout out to that brother, man, for giving Dot his flowers. Shout out to the brothers that are respectful, that are understanding, that get what it takes to be put on. Y'all know I hate the Grammys, but somebody sent me this moment, And I'm gonna give a shout out to the ones that are doing right. Shout out to Kendrick when he deserved way more the Grammys than he already got. Still screw the Grammys. You know how I feel, y'all. I don't like them. I don't like what they stand for, nor do I like what they represent, man. But as we continue to cook with more editions of Live on Sunday, I'm going to begin to change gears, man. Comment, like, share the live. Share the live. Thank y'all for tapping in with me. Tell me where you're from in the comments, baby. The next one I want y'all to know, man, Dr. James A. Parson. He was a chemist who invented stainless steel. He was a university prize as they resisted a corrosion that it was used to extensively in the Manhattan Project with a wide range of industries, mainly in medicine, petroleum, refinery, nuclear, aerospace, pharmaceutical, textile, and chemical food process. Shout out to Dr. James and shout out to this brother for Black History Month. Dr. James was one of the ones that created the stainless steel piping that we have in our house. If you go to your kitchen right now, you feel those stainless steel appliances. Thank Dr. James. Black history is American history. Black American history is the people that who have invented, who have changed, who have worked, who have went into all type of works in this country. Why these type of things need to be talked about with another edition of Live on Sunday is today. We went into a heavy dose on why we are under attack, what things we can be expecting to go into, and why these issues are so powerful, man. I want to once take on why this issues on Live on Sunday was important to me, y'all. It's because, number one, the conversations that not only we have, that the other side of America is having is important. Right now, we know what's happening in Minnesota, right? I want to let PSA know for all my Black Americans out there. It's good for white folks to have internal discussion. Do you know why it's good for them to have internal discussion? Because we can holler, we can scream, we can speak on any justice all we want. But until they get in their categories or their rooms personally and to see if there is injustice anywhere, there is injustice everywhere in this country. Shout out to Dr. King. So what I want to do for most of my FBAs out there, I want you to stop speaking on the issue. Stop speaking on the ice. Stop speaking on those issues. Let them go worry themselves as they go. When we are suffering with issues, other people are silent, and that's okay. It is time for us to do the same. We could speak on the injustice that we need to fix, but the external issues, we need to stop going into the politics of it. The white on white crime that we see is not our business. Don't riot. Don't say that in the streets. When we have a time to speak on it, we do. But right now, Black inequality, Black investment, Black families is the priority. The reason why the FBA wave is under attack, y'all, not the way Delineate is under attack, is because we're focused. We're so focused that it makes people uncomfortable. Distracted people are easy to move, easy to dictate, easy to pivot, easy to push around, easy to shape. But people that are lockstep focused on what they should be doing are unstoppable. And what we're seeing on this Saturday Live on Sunday is that we still see the economic issues are still affecting us. And until we lock in, until we highlight the people that need to highlight, until we go in and show the real people that are doing real work in this country and doing things that are impactful, nothing will change. And I want you to see right now what happens when we have real people who get in real people who do things in this country. The mayor of a small town of Lakewood
is a mayor. And they get on here and say part-time and full-time mayor. It's no such thing. Only thing happened was her pay got decreased. That's it. It ain't no part-time or full. Her duties is still the same.
Is she salary?
Her duties are the same, but her pay is different.
That's it.
Is she salary?
That's it. Her pay got cut. That's all that happened.
Oh,
is she salary?
okay.
Yes.
I think that was I think that's the confusion of her being like a part, using a part-time, full-time. Thank you for clarifying it. Regardless of the fact she's salary. So if she was getting paid $2 for the time she was here, she still had a job to do as a mayor.
And at the end of the day, what part-time person you know only making $20,000? Like
None.
No. Exactly. So we can't even say she's part-time. That's why I hate that they use that term. She a part-time male. No, only thing she did was got a salary decrease. That's it.
I just don't like in this.
Did you see what happened when we have people that are for the people in political positions? Shout out to Lake City. This is a local America, a black mayor in the city being transparent with his constituents. This has to be the new normal for us, ladies and gentlemen. We need to have our political figures transparent, using our social media, breaking down unfamiliar terms, breaking it down to money, talking about where it's going, being willing to be accountable, having a live stream with their people, getting on live saying things like this, ladies and gentlemen.
My
I want y'all
cousin
to
is a
see
mayor. I just want y'all to know the former employee of the city got paid us.
That way you can see everybody that went on trips.
Bro, people so comfortable with him, they'll get on his Facebook page and be like, "Hey, bro, the water bill high, fix that shit," and he'll get to it.
This right here is about her water bill. This lady said she done spent $700 in 5 to 6 months in a water bill, and she's a senior citizen. Like, I really don't think they understand the depth of what the city is really going through and what the citizens are facing.
He'll get on his timeline and call the whole motherfucking city broke.
Did y'all hear what she just said? Shout out to that Lake City mayor that is literally doing what we want our political position people to do. The reason why I'm highlighting this, ladies and gentlemen, is that we have to get away by thinking we don't have the power. Remember, politics is the subject of who gets what. These political figures work for you, operate for you, deserve the transparency that you are willing to give them. If we don't get on word to fix these things as millennials, remember, it's our time, baby. Millennials, pop your collar. I'm talking to my generation. We can't keep throwing the ball down the street saying it ain't our issue. No, sir. Stop blaming the boomers. Let's get them up out of there. Let's get Gen X on code by saying, no, we got to fix this. I do not want this BS to keep going in our lifetime. Millennials, I want to put the roll call out. As we are focused on other things which are important, we should be in the season of life of family, home ownership, political discourse, and intellectual conversation. The fun wave in the recession is nowhere. The funness, the goodness, we need to highlight these stories right here and what we expect from our mayors. This mayor of a small town has boots on the ground. Stop protest, and start progress. Facts on Richard. It's coming. It's coming. That's why we have this discourse about it. And the reason why I wanted to start this all positive, man, with the beautiful edition of Live on Sunday. Number one, I want to thank you for tapping in with me. Thank all my loyal subscribers for tapping in with me like you have always done on another edition of Live on Sunday. If you did not know, I got a lot going on, Crowd Gang. This week, I will have the announcement of Trey Day. If you do not know what Trey Day is, he was my brother that was slain, y'all, in a tragic murder that happened this year. I know. And we will have representation and a memorial for him. So make sure you be able to tune in when the announcement, when the information is going to be gone, and what we're going to do to talk about it. It is very important that we do that. I want y'all to tap in with me. Also, Crowder Gang, this Thursday, we will have a gender reveal of the new addition to the Crowder family. Tap in, hit the registry, hit the cash app, whatever you got to do. If you can come in and chill with me and my family because y'all are my family, I would love for y'all to do and share that moment with me. Also, next Sunday, y'all, we have official 7 days. I wish I had a drum roll. Let me see if I have a drum roll emoji. I think I do. Hold on. I think I do. Let me see. We will have official, y'all. Take a picture, screenshot it. I will be having the giveaway completely done again. Let me do it again for my people. Y'all support me. Y'all help me. You support my vision, my family, and other things I want to get going in. Next Sunday, the raffle will be done. If you want directions, community page on my Instagram. Next Sunday, I will be giving money with the raffle included on next Sunday's live. The drawing will be given out. I will be giving away the money to the people who represent and love me. I am not playing. I'm going to give it away. $350 cash money going to a loyal fan, man. All the core requirements are right there on the screen. All you have to do is follow the directions and do it for me. Remember, next Sunday, the drawing for the Monday will be given away. $350 for the top one, and so on and so forth. And we have more money. And again, man, if you are new here, comment, like, share, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on all platforms. I want to thank you for tuning in with me for another edition of Live on Sunday with your boy King Crowder, man. Again, today's lesson was about foundational Black Americans being under attack. Why are foundational Black Americans under attack, ladies and gentlemen? We are under attack because we are on code. We are under attack is because we are strength in numbers and we are universally on point what we need to be doing. We are being attacked because they know we are not stopping. Once Black Americans are on code, the rest of America's on code. If we want America to change, we have to rewrite our wrongs. And those who are aggrieved in this country need to be economically compensated, and we need to invest in our families. The message won't change. The identity won't change. The focus won't change. What we are doing, FBA family, will not and cannot stop. It is your boy King Crowder with another edition of Live on Sunday, man. I want to thank everybody that got to tune in with me. They got to share the live. They got to have fun. And we got to just laugh and joke. I want to tell you thank you from the bottom of my heart. Comment, like, share, subscribe to the channel. Lies I wish my teacher would have told me. Highly recommend that you can read it. Highly recommend that you add it to your library. James Lowe is a phenomenal author. Be prepared. Get that book. Next up, I want you to get my book, King Crowder, baby. Things I wish my parents would have taught me. Available on Amazon. Look at your boy looking good. Available. Have a new edition of 2 more books I'm working on this year that will be done 3rd and 4th quarter this year. Super Bowl party. We'll be having a flyer for the Black Man Build Connections next week. Trade Day, gender reveal, Crowder Gang, and the raffle. We have a full week of Live on Sunday. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or wherever you do your socials. Let me know you're here. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for tapping in with me. And thank you for choosing to be anywhere on a Sunday, but you chose to tap in with me again, man. Unstoppable. Say it again. All my social media, y'all. $350 will be given. Anything that you need to do, man. Real Vicious One. I can't wait. Tap in with me, man. Open to collabs that I'm going to give my podcast members, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you, King Pie. I see you a lot, brother. I appreciate you, man. Share the live. Hey, if you could do anything, I want y'all to do this for me this week, y'all, Crowder Gang. Check on your family. Call your daddy. Check on your mama. Call your loved ones. Let them know that you love them. Let you know that you appreciate them. And let you know what you're thinking about them. Again, my top 10 books, Sundown Town, The Autobiography of Malcolm X, Medical Apartheid, Negro Revolts, Black Panther Parties, How to Eat to Live, The ISIS Papers, Lies My Teacher Would Have Told Me, New Visions for Black Man, The Man Not. These are great reads that will help you start off your Black history journey. Again, thank you for tuning in with your boy King Crowder. Until next time. Peace.